I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's a filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Okay, dear listener, you guys ready? One more. Ayreon, Theory of Everything. Let's do it.
Beautiful.
I feel a shadow looming over me, leaving me defeated and confused. His eyes still haunt me, if only I'd done more. Maybe I gave up on him too soon. I share your sorrow, but we are not to blame. His heart has always been a mystery. We'll never fathom, we'll never understand. Did he ever need us where we're real? Only reflections in a mirror of dreams.
Wow. Harmony is crazy.
What holds his future? How will he survive without us to save him from himself? Where has he run to? Will he return? I hope he knows I wish him well. It's up to him now, there's nothing we can do. I fear we cannot give him what he needs. Are we but phantoms inside his tangled mind? Will he ever need us? Are we real? Or mere reflections in a mirror of dreams?
Wow.
Baseline is hard.
All right.
That baseline is hard, bruh.
Time to put things in perspective. Find your way again. Let me take you to the lighthouse where you can hide away.
I only want to be alone, to work the numbers on my own. I need to show my father, I need to show them all I am the one.
Your time has come
to unlock the equation, the theory of everything.
time to let go. My spirit is crushed, forsaken and cold. I'm leaving you, no tears left to cry. You'll never change, I made up my mind. This is goodbye.
Nope. So this is the end. How can I go on? My dreams unfulfilled. Now I'm alone. I let them down. I pushed them away. No reason to live. I'm ending this pain. There's no other way. done this to you, my son? I can't believe my eyes. Is it really you? Why should I forgive you after all you've done? I was driven and blind, not so unlike yourself. We can still work together if you allow me. Why should I give you a chance? Why should I trust you now? I bet you are helpless without me. If we join our minds, then together we can do this. We both want to be the first. We both want to change the world. We can work all night till we find out what the truth is. We'll solve this mystery, be a part of history. I'm so damn close. I'm feeling the blight. I could use a hand. Just give me this chance. We're on the verge of a breakthrough. The meds help me to see. It's too late to stop now. I'll take just a few just more. Till the answer is found. We can make it. We'll find the truth. Let's join our minds. Let's join it's our destiny to do this. We're going to be the first. We're going to change the world. We'll work all night. Let's work all night. Find out what the truth is. Find the truth. We won't sleep till we make this quantum leap. We are in this way too deep.
Okay, alright. Baseline coming in.
Isolate the graviton, verify the hit goes on. Demonstrate the tachyon, find the missing baryon. Ride the wave of gravity, unravel supersymmetry. Einstein's relativity, Heisenberg's uncertainty. Dear friend, my work here is done. Science has evolved. sunset on father and son. The mystery was solved. I'm broken, I'm falling apart, slowly fading away. I'm sorry, I took it all too far. Thank you for your faith.
His mind took flight, and his eyes have lost their light. All we have to go on is a note. They changed the world last night, working together side by side. His father is the only one who knows.
You haven't been told that was his mother on the floor. There was a tragedy last night.
ever understand how two different hand styles came to grace this blackboard. What unseen forces did conspire, uniting a father and his son.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So it leaves with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, you're not really sure if the dad was actually there or not.
Well, the story explicitly states that the dad had killed himself the night before.
Right, but you don't know if they figured out something that brought him back.
Well, yeah, like have they figured out time travel? Because it said what did it say, the last line, the space between 0 and infinity, help me?
Yeah.
So maybe that, so that both could be true. Maybe him and his dad actually did work on it.
Yeah.
But then there's like a time travel issue or whatever. Maybe like it's the dad from the past or something.
Yeah, but
because it says "help me" right at the end. So maybe the next record is the kid, traveling in time to find his dad. I don't know.
Wasn't the kid like a what, catatonic or whatever? Was
catatonic state? Yeah,
isn't that like coma?
Well, it's like your eyes are open, but you're not you're not aware of anything.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, and
yikes.
The two different hand styles. It could be that the kid is such
multiple
a genius.
Personalities, or
it could be the kid's such a genius that he knows how his dad writes. You know what I'm saying? And so he did it both. But I think he couldn't have been, but still 2 bits of writing. I like the open-endedness. Well, he couldn't have been in the normal way, but if that last line at the end of the song was about time travel or a reference to time travel, then that is something that you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Is it Hawking's, Kurt Jai-Mungals, or Sheldon's TOE? It sounds to me like they didn't define specifically which TOE it was. Although Fowley, I didn't know that Kurt Jai-Mungal was like famous for having a theory of everything. I thought Kurt Jai-Mungal was just some physicist who decided to start a YouTube channel. Like, is he like?
Oh.
Does he himself have a theory of everything? I'm not sure. But damn, what a really, really good record. Like I said, I gotta play that very, very last line because I wanna find what that phrase was. It was like right at the very end, and it doesn't show up. It didn't show up in our lyrics, did it?
No.
Yeah, let me just, that final part right here. The integral from 0 to infinity, and then it says help me. Mm-hmm. So
it had a creepy sound to it.
yeah. That to me sounds like maybe a reference to time travel. Mm-hmm. And then it says help me. So I wonder what the next record is after that.
Well, this one came out in 2013, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put Ayreon discography. What did you think of the music?
It was again just, I can't say anything besides just excellence, start to finish. All of the musicians, all of the vocalists. I love the way that they combined the mother and the girl's voice, and I thought that was kind of unique because the mother, she had both of them had beautiful voices. The mother's voice she sounded a little older, a little bit wiser.
Yes.
And the younger one, I don't know, it was just, but I loved the fact that the mother, she didn't condemn this girl and blame this girl.
Yeah.
And
which is what you would have expected.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
People are always just looking for a way off to not, especially mothers with their sons, I've seen some crazy stuff with mothers and their sons. I mean,
she still has her son though. You know what I'm saying? Like the dad is dead.
Yeah.
But the son is still alive. I mean, if Chris is, you know.
But he's not doing well, and she hasn't seen him. She doesn't know where he is because the teacher knew, you know, where the kid was, but it doesn't say the mother knew. But I just like the way that she said, I share your sorrow, but we are not to blame. His heart has always been a mystery. That's true. Yeah. But like a lot of mothers would be like, well, you're the one that fucked up his life by, you know what I'm saying? Like not, you know, and so you're like that with like, I was going to say foreigners, people that are not in our family. Like there was some situation.
Listen, if you're not in our family, you might as well be a fucking foreigner. The way we handle
Well,
shit.
but the thing is like, okay, so for me, if there's something that involves my kids, like one time, like supposedly the neighbors were going after our kids. And so I went over there. I said my piece. I went to bat for the kids. Years later, I found out the kids had put dog poop in a box and left it on these people's doorsteps. They're Somalians. So they can't even be around dogs. So dog poop in a box is really offensive. They didn't tell me that they did any of that stuff. They didn't tell me anything they did. They just made it sound like this person was going after them. And I went to bat like a mama bear for my kids. Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay. But you know, so I'm not even I'm trying to do better with it now as far as like kind of hearing some balance. But like with you, there was a situation between, you know, one of our kids and a foreigner, somebody outside of our family, an outsider, I guess.
An outsider. That's what we call them.
I know. It's just funny that it like came in my head like that. And like our kid was wrong. But like, I wasn't gonna say that. But you like once you heard the other kid's story of what happened, you were like, hey, you know, like you said to our kid, like, you can't do that. You can't do X, Y, and Z thing. And so like, you're like a very level-headed judge when it comes to even with our kids, which you'd think that you wouldn't be because of the way that you like the fire by which you love our children. So you would think that you would just be like completely on their side. Nobody else gets a say. And you could tell when this kid first started talking that he was very uncomfortable and nervous that he wasn't going to get heard out because you're his dad. You showed up at the steps, blah, blah, blah. But you heard the thing out and then you very evenly. And I felt like that this mother did the same thing, that like she heard what the girl had to say. She had some comforting words and she was speaking to the humanity of the girl as well as, you know, not just going to attack this girl because she felt something, you know, negative toward her because of what had happened with her son.
It's easy to do that if your kid is alive.
No, I literally just said all of my kids were there. They put dog poop in a box and put it on their steps, but I didn't hear anything that those other kids had to say. Everything that those other kids had to say I thought was a lie.
Yeah, but when you're talking about what I would do.
No, I'm saying you're balanced, I'm not.
But I'm saying it's easy to be balanced if your kid is alive, is what I'm saying.
It's not easy for me.
I wouldn't be as well, the difference is the perspective. So when I look at that situation with Dorian and that kid, I'm thinking about, okay, Dorian's going to be a man. He's going to have his own family, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm not really worried about that other kid. That kid's an outsider. I don't really care about being quote fair to him. That's incidental. What I'm trying to do is get Dorian to learn something in the situation. Like, I'm not as good as you think I am in that situation.
Oh, your motivation.
It's not that I'm fairness. Like, oh, I want to be fair to dad. I don't give a fuck about that kid. Obviously, I don't care about that kid. But, well, I mean, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
But the real issue is, you know, I'm seeing a chink in Dorian's armor that's gonna not translate well into adulthood. So it's easy for me to do that. But if he was like, I mean, you saw what happened when he was physically compromised. I wasn't as understanding. I almost, you know what I'm saying? I almost murdered a couple people. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's easy to do that if your kid's okay, but if your kid's not okay, then I'm a lot worse than you are with that stuff because you wouldn't have done that. All you did, you was like, oh my God, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah.
No, I went down to talk to them.
Yeah, I wasn't going down there to talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not this, like, balanced parent, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I think like you really genuinely hurt my kids, like, I don't give a fuck who you are or what. But like, this story is, it's set in the context of complicated stuff, physics, Higgs boson, you know, neutrons, electrons, quarks, blah 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 blah. Like that's that's sort of the staging area. One of the things that's really interesting to me about sci-fi is that, yeah, you get the cool, like, theoretical, like, this is how time travel would affect the person XYZ, but it doesn't matter what the story is told. At the end of the day, like, it's the human experience, and they are. It doesn't matter what the author does, whether you're trying to do historical fiction or just plain old fantasy like Lord of the Rings or sci-fi. It always comes down to those human interactions and the way that we relate to each other. It just so happens that, you know, I think the best demonstration of that was that movie Cloud Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
Where you had all these people, well, not all these people, it was really about 2 or 3 people, but you had all these people in different time periods. But at the end of the day, whether they were in like a super futuristic time period or whether it was, caveman, prehistoric time period, it's still the same issue. It's human beings relating to each other, trying to figure each other out, trying to figure out how to live together, how to accept each other. That type of thing. But I also think that this story leaves some questions open. Like, for example, was the side effect worth what this kid could bring to the world? Meaning, if this kid turned out to be a super genius and he actually did come up with a theory of everything that then benefited humanity exponentially, would him being on those meds and then the horrible adverse reactions, would it be worth it when you consider it from the human angle? Or would you say, is always going to be a non-starter?
Ooh, boy. Well, it depends. For me, it depends on how immoral it is. I don't think that the meds for this kid was immoral. I think that, even the kid said to his dad, go to hell, blah, blah. That was the last conversation he had with his dad. But then it turns out he wanted the meds himself once he was on them. Well, and for me, that would mean a lot to me if the kid, because I don't experience life as that child does. So if this kid, tried the meds and was feeling better on the meds, if it was going to kill them,
really?
Yeah.
You really believe that you would let your kid make that final decision?
If it was going to kill him, no.
No,
if it was
nothing
gonna,
that extreme.
If it was going to make it so that way he was going to get clarity for a period of time, but then he was going to revert back. You didn't know what
the future side effects would be?
Well, that's why I said if it was going to kill him, no.
No, okay, so you know it's not going to kill him, but as far as the other future side effects, you don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you'd let the kid call the play.
He already had it. He already took the meds, so now it's already done. So that decision's already made, and now the kid is he's figuring out.
I mean, you could stop him from doing it.
Yes, but he's figuring out the theory of everything. So he's very, very smart, and he's telling me by his experience what he's feeling.
So you let him call that play?
I would. I know you wouldn't. I would if the kid was saying no, like this is really good for me, and I want to do this.
I don't believe you'd do that in real life either.
Why? What are you talking about? How many bad decisions have I made because I think I'm doing what the kid thinks that they're...
We recently saw a documentary with that set up, and you would never allow it.
Not that.
Well, what's the difference? It's literally the same
principle.
principle.
No, it's not literally the same thing.
Yeah, the kid's saying, this makes me feel better.
No. This is getting
How is it different?
This is getting him clarity in his mind so he can
That's
think.
what they say.
No, I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think that's the same thing.
Okay, how is it different? That's what I was saying. Like, you don't really believe that. Not in the real world. You're sitting here in a studio.
Because I don't believe that.
Yeah, but you said you'd let the kid you'd let the kid call the play.
No, on that one, not on that other thing. On this one, it's
What's
about...
What's the difference?
Because one of them is giving him clarity in his mind. He's actually able to think.
And they say that's what it does for them.
No, they say
yes, they do.
It helps them feel better.
We're specifically
blah, blah, blah.
talking about trans kids, okay? You're wrong. When a trans so for female to male trans, when they start developing, it really fucks them up, and that's the only thing they can think about. And then when they get on puberty blockers, they have clarity because they're not worried about it anymore. It's literally the same template. But you wouldn't do it.
No, I would not.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like in the safety of a studio, when it's like a conceptual idea.
No, because it's a different thing.
You're just saying it's a different thing. It's not. It's the same thing.
Even if you went by your religion, one of them, your religion would absolutely say, no, you can't do. And the other one, it's kind of open, right?
Not really.
What do you mean?
I don't think the Bible says anything about puberty blockers. I don't think you can make a big case for puberty blockers. First of all, puberty blockers were used originally for heterosexual kids who were entering into, had overactive pituitary gland. So that was used for them already. Like, I mean, look, I'm with you, but I'm saying, like, you can't just say that in this scenario you would do it, but in the other scenario you wouldn't.
I can say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Well, yeah, you could say it, but you're not being logically consistent.
No, if Dorian's mind was not clear, he couldn't think for himself, he was just struggling through life, and then somebody started him on some meds and they cleared up his mind, and all of a sudden he could think and he could talk to us, and he said, like, this, I need this. Kid would say. I need this. Then I would let him be on that.
Yeah, well, it's the same
I wouldn't take him off that and let his mind go back to mush.
Same thing a trans kid would say, though.
No.
When these breasts are developing, it's all I can think about. I get obsessed with.
No, I would get the child. I would get the child whatever help that they needed in that situation.
You know what's going to happen? You send them to a pediatrician. They're going to recommend that.
Yeah, but but years later, the kid ends up changing their mind.
I'm talking about in principle.
That's irreversible.
In principle, it's the same concept.
No, I disagree with you.
How is it different?
Because one of them is irreversible.
Both of them had horrible side effects. He had bad side effects in the show.
But wasn't he already delusional before? No. Babe, I see what you're saying.
So you wouldn't let the kid call the play. All I'm saying
no,
is
I would in this situation, but I would not if it was the other thing.
But it's the same concept.
No, it's not.
How is it different? I honestly need you to tell me how it's different. They're saying that they can't think about anything else. Then they get these puberty blockers. They don't have to worry about developing breasts. They can go on and be a, whatever. And it gives them mental clarity, and they're able to function in the world, right? You can't discount that. That's what they're saying. So you're saying you would let a kid call that play. If you would let this kid call the play in the show or in the what we just came up with, then when it turns into real life, all of a sudden you're not. In me, as far as I go, I would never let the kid call the play, either in this show or in the real world. I wouldn't do it. I don't look. There's a reason why we don't give 12-year-olds driver's license.
Okay, so you're saying that if one of our kids was in a situation like that, they couldn't think, they were very, like they were like this one, and then I snuck around behind your back and gave them meds, and they were feeling really good. They were able to have a conversation with you. Stuff was getting really clear, and they were like, "Dad, no, you would say nope, or taking you off it."
If they had these side effects, do you remember the scientists showed up and said, "Hey, there are these really bad adverse side effects"?
Right.
I would absolutely take them off immediately. Then me and you would have a serious conversation.
Well, I know all about that.
So, I don't know.
I would never go put a kid on meds without having a discussion first.
Well, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is, I don't care what the situation is. It is insane to let a child call that play. Because why do we have age of consent laws? Why do we have? And these are the same people that are telling us that that we should raise the gun, the ability to have a gun to 21 years of age. Mm-hmm. But then you're also saying that you could take all these things that are fucking with your it's crazy to me. My opinion on puberty blockers or whatever is a separate discussion. The discussion for me is, do we let children who we have age of consent laws, we have laws for when they can drink, we driver's licenses laws. How the fuck are you going to let an 11-year-old call a play like that? That to me is crazy. That's a crazy, crazy call to me. So,
yeah,
let me see what Riv said. Are we talking about hormones? Because I say, as someone who is trans, that medicine's helped me feel better in my own body. Yeah, there it goes. See, so Riv is saying that. I've been on similar drugs for mental health. Autistic, Ritalin destroyed my mind, and puberty blockers are reversible. So, but Riv is an adult. I don't care about an adult calling that play. I don't care about a person, if you're old enough to go to war, which is 18, you should be able to make all those decisions. But before that, hell no. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's puberty blockers. I don't care if it's Wellbutrin. I don't care if it's Adderall. I don't care. You do not. To me, it's crazy to let a child call that play.
Pass me the vitamins.
That to me is crazy. I don't care what the drug is.
I see what you're saying. I just would have I'd have a hard time if the kid was saying, I see the similarities. I do.
There's lots of similarities. We don't know what the long-term effects of this shit is. I mean, everybody agrees on that. We don't have longitudinal studies on the effect of doing this shit. So, I don't know, 20 years from now, we're going to get some crazy report that says, oh, by the way, these are the adverse effects. It's just the same thing with this, what do you call it? The Pfizer stuff with the COVID thing. Now it's like, oops, there were some problems. So, that's my thing, is I'm like, yo, we don't even know what the long-term effects of these medications are. You know, again, that is a separate issue from whether or not I think puberty blockers are helpful or not. All I'm saying is it is insane that a child calls that play, but then we won't let them drink. They can't vote. They can't even fucking drive. But you're going to tell me this 10-year-old knows how to call it? Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy to me. That's just insane to me. What drugs are okay for kids? That is a question. That's a very, very good question. And as you said with Adderall, or what did you say? Ritalin destroyed my mind. Exactly. So the FDA approved Ritalin. Everybody is prescribing Ritalin. All these doctors were saying Ritalin is great. And now, after 2 or 3 decades, now we're seeing, holy shit, Ritalin has really terrible adverse effects, and now it's looked upon unfavorably. Well, how many kids died or killed themselves or experienced heightened misery up until we could get to that point? That's my issue. Now, if I'm a parent and I put my kid on Ritalin, that's my responsibility. So whatever happens to that kid is on me. But you're going to let the kid decide whether or not he wants to take Ritalin? And then I, as a parent, am going to go along with that? That shit is crazy to me. That's insane.
My thing is, I, as the parent, already decided that I'm okay with Ritalin or I'm okay with whatever. And so if the kid said, let's say I'm okay with Ritalin. I'm not. I would have to be in a really serious situation before I would put my kids on something. I would change the learning environment before I would do that. And I think that
change the
right, like school, making the kids sit at a desk. Yeah, like my brother had a really hard time sitting at the desk. And so my mother used to sit him down for 10 minutes and then she'd have him go run around the house or go looking in, go find a frog or, you know what I mean? Like she broke up the day for him. I wish they would have done that for me. Yeah, they broke up the day for him. So they because they were saying he was, he needed to be on something, but my mom was like, no way. So if let's say I made the decision that I was okay with Ritalin and I put my kid on it and my kid's been on it for a week and my kid is saying, this is really messing with me. I don't like this at all, blah, blah, blah. Then I would take them off of it. Simultaneously, if I put them on it and they said, this is really working for me. And then, well, it depends on what they said the side effects were.
That's the thing. We don't know what the long-term effects of these puberty blockers are.
Yeah.
Look, man, you're fucking with nature.
Yeah.
Anything. When I was in the hospital, I had to sign off on, which is ridiculous because I was still a minor, but basically I was under the recognizance of the hospital because there were issues with my mom. They basically said, even at Wellbutrin, they basically said this is experimental in the sense that we don't have a definitive, this is actually going to work for you. This is on the theory that, about serotonin and all the other things, right?
Yeah.
So all of those meds in general are experimental. But my issue is, in this particular scenario, you gave the kids these meds. It had a good effect in the short term, and then the doctor comes up behind and says, "Oops, there was actually a problem." And if I called that play as a parent, I would be able to accept that as my own responsibility. But I would never be able to forgive myself if I went on the word of a child and put them in that situation. That would kill me. Like, you're a parent for a reason. We're not like babysitters.
No, that's why I said.
Our point is to give kids guidance.
Yeah, that's why I said if I already decided I was okay with it, and if the kid said it doesn't work for me, then I would stop. If I was okay with it, and the kid, you know what, but if I was not okay with it, which I'm not okay with puberty blockers, if I was not okay with that, then I would not, that would be an option for my kid.
Are you not okay with them conceptually as a concept category, or are you not okay with them because you're worried about the physical ramifications for the kid?
Well, it's both. It's both. If this is not coming from my religion, because my religion would not say this, but if
there's nothing in the Bible about puberty blockers.
If my child, if there was, let's say that they were completely reversible, and that was something that like it was definitive, like it was completely reversible, because I see River saying that those puberty blockers are reversible, but I've also seen other trans people say they weren't reversible, and I wanted to reverse it. Now my voice sounds like a man, and so I've watched the documentation from different people that have talked about it and said this was not reversible, like they said they were.
That I sent you that thing.
Yeah, that one was heartbreaking.
She had top surgery. Yeah.
No, well, not just that one. The other one, we watched her story, and her voice is deeper. You know, she's dealing with facial hair, stuff like that. Like once you've already switched stuff around, like it was already switching stuff up.
And like I hate to say it, I didn't feel bad for her. I'm like, you made that decision as an adult. You didn't? No, you made that decision as an adult.
No, I felt bad for her. I felt bad for her because I felt like the people that were in line that should have asked the friggin' proper questions, because she said...
She should have asked those questions. She was
No. Not the one that I'm talking about. She was a teenager, and she was going online, and then she ended up like joining different groups, and then when she was in the group, the people were like, oh, did you ever play with trucks when you were a kid? She's like, holy shit, I did play with trucks.
That wasn't puberty blockers, though. That was testosterone.
She didn't do both?
Well, the thing that fucked her up was the testosterone. She got like 5 times the recommended dosage or whatever. It was they started her like
they started her right away after
really insane,
asking like one or two questions.
It was like a 3-minute conversation.
Yeah,
that shit was insane. But that's the other thing is the pharmaceutical companies, they just want to sell drugs. They don't care what the issue is.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So they're going to encourage hospitals. Oh yeah, use this drug. So it's like a 2-question thing, and then boom, you're a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the same thing. But yeah, I mean, it's as you can see, it's a very volatile conversation. If you're interested, Middle America, we're going to be doing it's probably going to be about 2 or 3 hour conversations. I'm going to have an entire panel of trans people, and we're all going to watch What Is a Woman together with Matt Walsh.
You should try to reach out to Matt Walsh and see if he can get it unblocked so it won't get... They're going to delete that. You're not even going to be able to have that up on YouTube.
Yeah, I think if you stop it enough, because we did this before. I forgot what it was, but we watched the Ukraine on fire.
That didn't get blocked?
No, it didn't get blocked. And that one, YouTube was actively trying to restrict it.
Yeah, okay.
So,
okay.
So look, but the point is, good art is supposed to create these kinds of issues. Mm-hmm. And for them to write this song 10 years ago and for it to be so relevant now, I don't think he was trying to do it on purpose. I just think it was a good song in his brain, or a good idea in his brain. So, you know, I respect the hell out of that. Anytime somebody can do something like that, I respect the hell out of it. And by the way, Riv, I appreciate your contributions here. It's pretty brave for you to do that. So shout out to Riv for that. Okay, I love this album. I'm going to give this song a 9.7. This was my favorite song on the record.
9.8 for me.
Overall, the record gets a 9.5 for me. I just thought it was really well done. It was a good balance of traditional metal riffs with really cool synth, which I think is a very hard balance to strike. Like, I was playing around with some of the little presets on GarageBand with our stuff, and it's very, very tempting to just completely use all that shit. So to be able to like balance out the synth with the guitar is great. The other thing is the band was a collection, like I said, of the Avengers, of the best, in my opinion, metal vocalists that we have current day. And how do you... It's kind of like a NBA coach, and you have LeBron James and Michael Jordan on your team, and they're used to being the feature. Like, all the people on in this band vocally are used to being the featured talent. And how do you get them to put the ego aside, maybe not hit that note that high because that wasn't the vision. To be able to do that and to get rock stars with massive earned egos to go in to make them march in one direction, I think is incredibly difficult. Mm-hmm. I haven't even, it's even attempted it, but to me, it looks incredibly difficult to me. So I really appreciate that his ability to balance everything. Like a lot of really good music, along with a lot of other things, usually are about balance. How balanced can you be when you engage these things? So I really loved the record, and I really thought that this guy, the storyline, like sometimes there were leaps, there were little, but I'm just thinking about the literature classes I was taking, but you can't. If he did that, the album would be 5 hours long. So you gotta have to squish some stuff together and move the story forward because people don't have the time to listen to that. So I really love this record. They did a really good job.
I think, a lot of times you'll say, this is going to be a must listen for the kids in school. I think this would be a great album for the kids to listen. The kids like to listen to like audio stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that they would be surprised to see like the story in an album. Like
I'm blown away.
Singing.
We've got one kid that's interested in being an author and writes like crazy. And like I said, Johan's into Sultanese and Dorian's into business. Sayla's setting up her own YouTube channel. None of them are really into
graphic design.
None of them are really into music.
I know. That's why I was like,
and music is my life.
You were playing the guitar,
yeah.
And like Reza went over and he put his hands and he was just like watching you play, and I was like, well, I have hope.
Yeah, I think Reza and Orion, I mean, they've been hearing metal literally since they've been in the womb.
Yeah, Orion will be like
I've written songs. They've both heard the songs that I've written for them while they were in the womb.
They've been to concerts, especially Orion went to multiple concerts.
Yeah, so inshallah, one of them would be. But yeah, I would actually like to talk to this Argent guy. The main reason I want to talk to this Argent guy, I want to see how much of this is a combination of his fascinations with physics.
Yep.
And his own experience probably as a prodigy.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see that. AT, I'll send you a picture of Reza, and you can see how big he is. He's got quite the personality, I'll tell you what. Holy shit! Really good job, Wacky Tour. This is really great. No pressure on anybody else for upcoming DJ streams. We've got a couple really cool DJ streams lined up, guys.
So for me, I like this album because it was, I said it before, it was so excellent. And I like stuff when it like... it reminds me of something about God. And I feel like that God does everything, like, obviously to perfection. Not I feel like he does. And this album, I felt like that they just really, really reached for the stars. And they didn't settle for anything less than exactly what they were going for. And I just, props them, all the people involved in it. It just, maybe they were fighting on set, but it didn't show in the end results. Like,
that's funny, you said on set.
Yeah.
Whereas it's in the studio, actually.
Yeah.
But because it
was so theatrical, you just felt like you saw the whole story.
Amy said, use the term soap opera. Like,
loved it.
It really was. It was a dramatic storyline with some, as we've demonstrated, real world moral quandaries that I think are very, very fascinating.
9.7 for me.
Really loved it, guys. Oh, by the way, Arjen is pronounced Arjen. That's right. It's Jay. And Ving says he doesn't love prog. Was this a prog band? I'm going to tell you guys. As far as prog goes, now I'm talking, it has nothing to do with everything. But just hang out a little bit more. As far as prog goes, right now, I've been listening to a lot of Nail of the Scars.
A ton.
Particularly, I'm learning Painters of the Tempest on guitar right now. And it's been very, very good for me. Especially when you look at the lyrics of the song, because the lyrics of the song is basically about how the kids are the future. And it gives me, God's been using it to give me a lot of comfort in the current situation. Because the kids are still going to be the future, and they're going to be good. So Nialva the Scars is a progressive band, but it's I've been holding on to that shit for dear life. since that whole shit happened a couple weeks ago. So I hate prog, but Miao Viscaris is right now they're my favorite band. Right now they're my favorite band, but I still hate prog. I can't stand it. Wacky Tour, really, really, really good job, bro. Look, no pressure to anybody else on the DJ streams, but I will say, I do love it when I can, like, focus in on a band.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I forgot who it was, but he did
DJ
the Doors.
Nick.
Was it DJ Nick? We did the Doors. All 5 of the songs were from the Doors.
Yeah.
And that one was unique because it was from, like, a bunch of different albums. It wasn't one album. But I love being able to get my arms around the sound of a band, and I really, really, really like this one. So shout out to Wacky Tour. All the rest of you, we also love all the other DJ streams too. If you want a full album review, again, reach out to Sori or me, Sori@gmail.com. All right, there you go, dear listener. Now we're going to go see about these cats because our kids want a kitten all of a sudden. All right, having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.